You guys are wild things. You make my heart sing.
I've heard that before somewhere.
Just shut up and play that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is fabulous to be here tonight in the historic Langham Theatre in beautiful downtown Waterproof. I can't tell you what this evening means to me. As I'm sure is the case with many of you, I grew up with late-night television talk shows. In many ways, my parents abandoned me to the likes of Jack Parr, Johnny Carson. Some of you are nodding, right? They formed the amazing adult that I've become today. And so it has been my dream for a very, very long time to do what I am blessed to be doing before you this evening. That's right, coming into your living rooms, to come into your darkened, dope-smelling rec rooms, and to share with you some wit and wisdom, not from New York City for a change, not from London for a little bit of a change, and not even from Toronto, but no, from Waterproof, British Columbia, population. Well, I'm not sure what the population is, but I know it's not much. We're going to have the mayor on in a bit, and she'll fill us in, I know. But I can be very certain in telling you that this is the first time in television history, not simply in the great true north, strong and free, Canada, but in the world, that a late-night television talk show has ever come out of a place as remote, as small, as benighted, as totally forgotten as Waterproof, British Columbia. It is very, very exciting. And speaking of excitement, to say that I'm excited about our lineup tonight would be akin to Vladimir Putin sharing with us that he's fond of bare-chested horseback riding. Or Justin Trudeau sharing with us that he's in love with his hair. By the way, Max, I know you would agree that, in fact, our Prime Minister does have bitchin' hair. In fact, I would go so far as to say, Max, he has the finest hair of all the G7 leaders.
That's the only thing that I would agree with you on that one.
Thank you, Max. Thank you very much. Well, normally a show like this requires a crew of at least 100 people. Seriously, it does. And a budget per episode in the 7 figures. Well, suffice it to say, we're not quite living up to those standards. And in fact, tonight's show, I have to say, is made possible by the generosity and hard work of, first of all, the Waterproof Chamber of Commerce, which is headed by our mayor, by the way, who you're going to meet in a moment, by Columbia Basin Trust, and for all of you out there in television land who are watching from Portland, Seattle, Spokane, every time you flip a light switch, every time you plug in your iPhone 14 Pro, ka-ching up here. Thank you. Right? Let's thank our American cousins. And so all that do, re, mi flows to Columbia Basin Trust, and they have blessed us with $150. To make tonight's show possible, which has resulted in the fact that, as you may have noticed, Max and I are standing rather still. If I were to walk another foot over this line, all of you watching at home would see my midriff. We have a budget that allows us to afford 1 camera with 1 lens. Lighting and sound are handled by the Langham janitor. I think that's right, Max. Correct? Yeah. And most importantly, we have, as Janet suggested at the outset, absolutely no more than 90 minutes to polish this sucker off before Waterproof Brownie Troop 322 comes in for its annual early spring sleepover here in the Langham. And trust me, when those chicks walk in, the lights go out. So, with no further ado, let's get this show rolling. 1, 2,